What's up, Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bits for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple. Honestly, this video is pretty much brought to you by Bloomberg and my buddy Mark Gurman, who literally dropped a bomb of information with an early treasure chest of what we can expect to see from Apple at WWDC 2019. You can check out his article at the link below, and we're talking real detailed information about iOS 13, macOS 10.15, and a watchOS 6. So hold on to your butts. It's a whole lot, and let's just get right into it, starting with iOS 13. Now, Gurman reports the refreshed iOS 13 for iPhone and iPad is codenamed Yukon and will bring new tweaks and features that were planned for last year's iOS before, they decided to focus on bugs and stability. Apple's already working on iOS 14 for a 2020 release that's expected to support 5G speeds and new AR features for next year's phone. A focus, again, for iOS 13 will be an even more improved speed and bug fixes. There will be new UI animations when launching multitasking and also for closing apps. The widgets on the left side of the home screen will also be getting cleaned up with a new look. Dark mode will finally be here. Yes, that's right, after years of requests, with a black and gray heavy interface for optimized viewing at night and can be accessed quickly in the control center pull down, according to Gurman. Apple's also testing a new keyboard that allows you to swipe across letters on the keyboard in one motion to type out words. And I know Android users, I see already, you're all rolling your eyes if you remember the swipe keyboard that was killed in 2018 or the current Swift keyboard app that's out there. That would pretty much be what's built into iOS 13. There will be a revamped health app with a clear looking outline to your daily activity and a section for hearing health that will measure how loud you're listening to music on your headphones or the loudness of your environment. That would have been real fun to see in action at the BTS Love Yourself, Speak Yourself World Tour concert at the Rose Bowl that I just went to, yeah? What's up, Army? Now, it's been confirmed you'll be able to use your iPad as a second Mac screen and have the ability to draw with an Apple Pencil, expanding your total viewing area. There's third-party solutions out there already, but this is what Apple has always done, right? See what third parties do and then bring them to their operating systems later on. The Reminders app is going to get a major update with 4 sections laid out in a grid for tasks to be done today, all tasks, scheduled tasks, and flagged tasks. I'm going to keep on going because this is just how in-depth this report is by Mark Gurman. There's a new screen time feature that will let parents limit who their kids can and cannot connect to at certain times. There will be a new Books app with a progress tracker and reward system that still won't get me to use the Books app. iMessage will let you choose a profile pic and name and choose who sees it, kind of like WhatsApp and how they do that. Plus, you can send stickers of animojis and emojis to others in the app, which is important. Now, we've talked about Apple working on a new Find My Friends and Find My iPhone app that joins the two together we talked about a few weeks ago. Well, it's internally called Green Torch, and Gurman says this could go along with reports that Apple is working on their own physical tracking beacon that would challenge Tile, but be integrated into the Apple ecosystem, and we know how strong that ecosystem is. You'll also have more control for muting individual email threads. Let's say one about a reunion that you aren't going to, but then they still leave you in it on the thread, and then when you ask them not to be on it and you told them to remove you, they still didn't, and you still keep getting messages from it. You know what that's like. Or you can block incoming mail from specific contacts. Now, there will be a new system-wide sleep mode that will be related to an updated version of the bedtime feature that's a tab in Apple's Clock app. Right now, you input when you go to sleep and wake up, but they could be setting up better integration for sleep tracking together with the Apple Watch. Now, an improvement with the HomePod, it will soon be able to respond to different voices and finally get a much requested multi-user mode that it needs. That's nice, but on top of that, we really need to see a lot more from the HomePod. I'm talking about multiple queries at once, more smart device support, and the ability to expand it, really using it in conjunction with third-party apps and services. Now, iOS is being tested for a new downloads manager for its Safari browser, so users can access those downloads in a single place like they can on a computer, and an updated Files app that will work with third-party apps, for example, importing images and assets into Photoshop. And the Files app is more important to the iPad for me because I want to see if it can really take another jump in usability to really claim that it can be a replacement for your computer. It's not there yet for me, but we will see. Now, the iPad will also be getting some of its own unique features like an updated interface for multitasking, tweaks to the home screen, and the ability to cycle through different versions of the same app according to the report. And for people with disabilities, Apple is going to better integrate hearing aid support and have an even more comprehensive accessibility settings menu in the settings. Woo! Okay, well that was just all the details Gurman dropped for iOS 13, but let's jump over to macOS 10.15, and the biggest change we'll see this year is the ability for iPad apps to run on Apple laptops and desktops. Developers writing iPad apps will also be able to rework them to run on the Mac properly. Now, two of those Apple apps that will be coming over to the Mac this year is the Podcast app and the newly merged Find My iPhone app. There will also be a new Apple Music app that will be a standard Mac program. Other iOS features expected to come to the Mac platform include screen time controls for family members, effects and stickers for the desktop Messages app. There's going to be Siri shortcuts, the app to build and customize your own Siri commands for the Mac, and then the new Reminders app and an upgrade to Apple Books. And Apple is really making this push to beef up the Mac App Store with new content, with their new developer toolkit under the internal codename Marzipan. We've talked about it here on this channel before, and the next goal immediately is for iPhone apps to run on the Mac by next year, with the ultimate goal for a single download from the App Store that can run on any iPhone, iPad, and any Mac. Now, we've seen hardware at WWDC in the past, and we may finally get a first look at the new modular Mac Pro that Apple's been working on the past couple of years. This would be really the event to do it at. Apple introduced speed bumps to most of their Macs earlier this year, but we might also see something for the iMac Pro, which didn't get any updates. That could be really interesting. Mac Pro, iMac Pro. It's also working on a rumored new 31.6-inch 6K mini LED display with HDR support that could make an appearance alongside the new Mac Pros. I just think it would really make sense to see all of these things at WWDC. And finally, let's get to watchOS 6. Bloomberg reports Apple will be adding the App Store directly onto the Apple Watch so users can go download apps on the go. The Voice Memos app is coming to the watch, even if third-party solutions have existed for years. Animoji and Memoji stickers from the iPhone, yeah, they're coming too. See a theme there. The Apple Watch will also get an Apple Book app for listening to audiobooks and a calculator app, which again, many third parties had stepped up in Apple's absence for years, but guess who's swooping in? Apple. There's also two new health-related apps, including Dose for pill reminders and Cycles to track menstrual cycles, and more complications for more bits of info like audiobook status, the battery life of hearing aids. We talked about how they're going to be more compatible there, and then other complications that measure external noise around you or even rain data. So there's going to be some really cool new complications, but also some cool new watch faces, including one called Gradient that makes a gradient from the color you choose, like its name. You have two new extra large faces with jumbo-sized numbers and a California dial that looks like a classic watch face. Also a new solar analog watch face that looks like a sundial, but it's still unlikely that we'll get third-party watch faces or even just a few from third-party partners that are approved by Apple. I think that's still something that I'd love to see. But all of these features are setting up the Apple Watch for an even more independent future from the iPhone. For me, if they can get to the point where we can just set it up and use the Apple Watch without any iPhone at all, then you're really opening it up for a whole new group of users, and that's, I think, where you can really tap into a larger audience, obviously. So there you go. That's really a whole lot of info, and a keynote's worth of details. It's still early, so some of these features may or may not make it, but I can't give Mark Gurman and Bloomberg enough credit for all of this. Hey, major kudos to you guys. So that's going to do it for now. If you love this video, you know the drill. Thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell. Ding! To get the latest videos from me. And if you want to go deeper with the Apple world, to check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast, we're going to dig deep into the stories that matter, get you more details. All my content is completely independent. You can help me by supporting it at patreon.com/BrianTong. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.